Hello. Hey, Tracy. Hey. Hey, Makita. Hey. Hey. Hey, girl. Hey, Tracy. Hey. Hello, truly. Hi. Hello. Welcome. Hey, how you doing? Good afternoon. Welcome, Mia Flores. Welcome. Oh, thank you. Look delicious. Thank you. Hi, Mia Flores. How are you? Hey, Arlene. PNR. We're talking about PNR today. PNR. What's PNR? We're talking about PNR. PNR. Welcome. Swipe and invite. I always catch your replays. I love them. Oh, great. Key Jules. Great. Thank you, Arlene. For sharing on Twitter. Thank you for inviting followers. Hey, Edgar, you on lunch? Hey, how to put yourself in PNR. How to put yourself at PNR. What's PNR? Coming up in a minute. Hey, how you doing, Arlene? How's your day? Oh, yes, from working from home today. Oh, all right now. Thank you, Tracy, for sharing on Twitter. Thank you. Appreciate you. Hello, Nation Julie. Hi. How you doing? Welcome. PNR. As you know, we do this quick scope, and it took me a minute to prep. You are on the move, sis. Oh, my goodness. On the move. My Fi. I'm telling you. Living Again 45. Welcome. Dorimpt. Welcome. On the move. I am on the Fi. PNR. What is PNR? What is PNR? We ready? Are we ready? Drum roll. PNR is point of no return. PNR. What a morning. Hello, Hannah Love. I started the same morning this afternoon. Hello, Hannah Love. Hello. So while I was preparing for this scope, I had a couple of point of no return. So let's go to the Greeks. And they say the ancient Greeks, when they went to take a new country in war, and they say this about the Macedonians too, when they went to go to war and they took their boats to distant shores, they say that they loaded, I don't know if this is fable or if this is true, they say that the armies loaded their women and children on the boats. They took the boats to the to the distant shores of the land that they're going to conquer in war. Welcome, Nakia Mermaid. When they got to the distant shore, they take their women, their wives, and all of their lovely women folk and their children off the boats, put them on the shores of the new land that they're going to conquer, burn the boats, and then proceed inland, leave their children and their women on the banks of the shore. Hello. And then, hey, Shamanique. Hi, Shamanique. And then they would proceed inward to the enemy. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you think the enemy, how you doing, Shamanique? Do you think the enemy was prepared for the ferociousness, hey, Bombshell Alchemist, for the ferociousness? Oh my God, don't you love this story, How to Love? Do you think that enemy was prepared for the ferociousness of the fight that was about to be upon them? Because if your children and your women are behind you on the shore and your boats are burned, hello, Bombshell Alchemist, and you are now advancing, and the only thing between the enemy and your women and children with no boats, no way to leave, is you. How are you fighting? And let's compare that to the ones who got met, who were simply fighting to defend their homeland territory. What army was more ferocious? The army that were at the point of no return. No, you cannot get through us because we've burned our boat. We don't even have a way to get back. We are at PNR, point of no return. Burn the boat, baby. No option but to win, 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 no matter what. Point of no return. Now, humans are very afraid to put themselves at PNR. This is what PNR looks like in your life. It looks like you're getting ready to start your business, and you give your job. Hello, Melissa. PNR looks like point of no return is what we're talking about, Melissa. Point of no return. Point of no return. You can't turn back. You can't look back. You can't go back. Point of no return looks like our beautiful black Moses bringing slaves off the plantation, and they're about 2 miles into the journey. Now, while you're still on the plantation and you're getting up with the black Moses in the middle of the night, and you get ready, Harriet Tubman, and you're getting ready to leave, you're not at the point of no return yet, because at that point you could say, I'm not leaving. No, I'm going to stay right here. Or right up to the moment that y'all set your first foot off the plantation, you're still not at point of no return, because you could still say, I'm not leaving. Now, she already prepped you for the journey, and she already told you that she carries a gun, and that once we get out there, you're not going to be able to turn back. She said, I will kill you. I'll shoot you first, because if you turn back, you're going to become a threat to all of us. And I can't lose any passengers. I've never lost a passenger yet on this path. And God told me God would protect me. But I got this big shotgun for you, just in case you act a little foolish. And they say she didn't have no problem using her shotgun, right? Point of no return. So you go with Harriet. You're gonna give up. You're gonna come off the plantation. You scared. You ain't got no shoes on your feet. It's snowing outside. Yes, that's the kind of weather they used to travel in, because Harriet Tubman said she liked traveling in the winter because they couldn't leave the tracks. They could get away from the tracks. Could throw the dogs off with the snow and stuff like that. Some of them slaves didn't have no shoes. And they were walking, but they were walking to freedom, right? They had ways to protect their feet. Plus, God was protecting their feet. Yes? Hello, Havila. How are you, love? How are you? Point of no return. So you get about 1 mile, 2 miles, 5 miles off the plantation. You've been walking all through the night, because it's the middle of the night when she takes you off the plantation, right? Hi, Naomi Tamaya. Hello. She takes you off the plantation in the middle of the night. Here you are 5 miles into the journey, and it is rough, and you got a long way to go. You just started. Because do you realize that Harriet Tubman, they walked 200 miles, 175 miles, something like 300 miles from Maryland, where I was on the Eastern Shore. They had a ferry take them over the bay, and then they walked to Pennsylvania from Maryland. They walked from Pennsylvania to Maryland. From Maryland to Pennsylvania. How many miles is that? Oh my goodness, I drive it all the time. It's miles. Hi, Havila. Thank you. Thank you. Peace and blessings to you as well. All these miles. Point of no return. You're out there 5 miles. You're hungry. You're tired. Your bones are aching, but you're going to freedom. But your feet are frozen. And you can't go back, because Harriet Tubman tells you, I'm going to shoot you dead if you go back. Point of no return. You have no choice but to press forward. Smart woman, Harriet Tubman. Burn the boats, quit job, and start your own business. Hello. Burn your boats. Burn your boats. Burn your boats. Most of y'all got too many freaking escape hatches. Cut off all your escape hatches, and then you can't escape. You have to make the thing happen. I'll tell you one thing. Every time I put myself at PNR, point of no return, I made something big happen. But people, and I'm eliminating but from my vocabulary. Thank you for checking me, Holy Spirit. And people are so afraid to put themselves at PNR. It's just like Corey and Melissa did it. They moved to Miami. They knew they were to be in Miami. He knew he was to be in Miami for art. Point of no return. You go to Miami, you're there now. Point of no return. You got to make it work. Point of no return. I remember one time we were taking a road trip a few years back, me and Veronica. Yes, Melissa, tell them. Point at PNR. Put yourself at PNR. Because there's something magical that happens at PNR. At PNR, with no way out, no escape, no backup plan, no plan B, no nothing else. You have one way to go, and that's forward. Same for me moving to Munich. Look at that, PNR. You get up and you move somewhere, you ain't got no choice. You got to make it work. You have to make it work. PNR. Me and my PNR, point of no return. Point of no return we're talking about. Put yourself at PNR, point of no return. That's PNR, Hannah Love. Hey, King, hey, King, hey, King. That pressure. And here's why it's so critical to routinely put yourself at PNR. Because everything you want is outside your comfort zone. Humans are so busy trying to make themselves comfy in their cute little nest, keeping their cute little jobs, keeping their cute little same friends, their cute little apartment. It's daunting when you think about it and look at the forest, mountains, and animals push through. Oh, it's very daunting. Absolutely, Arlene. It's very daunting. I went on a road trip, me and my daughter. I frequently go on trips that I don't know how I'm going to complete. Like I did Bali, one way to Bali. I thought I was moving there. I was moving there, and I am moving there. It unfolded differently than what was in my mind. It's still unfolding, actually. I forget how powerful the PNR is so powerful, isn't it, Fire Fairy? I bought a one-way ticket. Okay, you have to figure something out. It's exhilarating. It's the edge of, it's past your comfort zone, actually. People hate PNR. Throw myself out to the wolves. Hey, it worked for Tarzan. They took care of them. The wolves took care of Tarzan. They took care of Mowgli in the Jungle Book. Remember the Jungle Book? You see, most people make it up in their mind. They make up a big story in their mind that if they do PNR, that they're going to be destroyed. The exact opposite happens. So they're so afraid of PNR. They're so afraid. Can you imagine the first commander who told those armies when they went on the distant shores to burn their boats? Burn your boats. Burn your bridges. Burn everything behind you. We're not going back there. Burn it. Oh, but it's Lot's wife. Same thing, Lot's wife. Every story has a sound like way to make quantum leaps. Woo! Nakia Mermaid, come on. Indeed, you'll make quantum leaps. Like I said, I routinely go on trips that I have no idea how I'm going to complete the trip. PNR, baby. And watch the universe do its magic. Watch the universe do its magic. One time I remember we were on a road trip and we were going cross country, and I didn't know how we were going to complete the road trip because the road trip, I knew it was going to be a lot of money, and I had money, but and I didn't really know if the money that I didn't plan like day by day. I never plan all that stuff out, like this gas, this money for gas, this money for food. I never planned that, this for lodging, because we're making it up as we go. That's the whole point of the road trip, right? So we're out on the road trip. And the available cash, now I have investments and stuff like that I never touch. But sometimes the available cash, that's the key, right? Let the universe lead. That is the key. Let the universe lead it, right? So the available cash, sometimes it fluctuates, right? So I found myself, I get in the car and just start driving. So we found ourselves getting ready to come to a place where we didn't have money for the road trip. For the gas. And all I did was go to my number 3 of my pattern on the threshold and the pattern on the pattern on the trestle board. And the pattern on the trestle board says, moment by moment I am led moment by moment I am led along the path of liberation, living from that will, guided by its unfailing wisdom and understanding. Moment by moment I am led along the path of liberation. There was an affirmation that I had. And the affirmation, I just kept playing it over and over in my head, that I am being led on the path of liberation. That I'm going to be liberated from the own little ego that can only see 2 inches in front of its own face. That I'm going to be liberated from the grips of fear. That I'm going to be liberated from my own comfort zone. That I'm going to be liberated from everything I make up that goes bump in the night. That I'm going to be liberated from all that. I'm going to burn my boat behind me. Well, where are you going to go? Then this is where the yabbits comes in. The inner chatter in the form of outer people. Because remember, people outside you can't say anything to you that you have never already said to yourself. Inside your head, even worse. This is where people come up and say, well, that's just irresponsible. Why would you do a thing like that? Here's the voice of reason. You ever notice the voice of reason masquerades the voice of fear? The voice of reason That's not reasonable, Valerie. That doesn't make good sense. Are they paying for it? Always taking or always talking? Ha! Yeah, that's yabbits in my own head. And it's the little fear voice. I got some stories that let me know the mind is calling people to you with a bullhorn. Isn't that the truth? The mind is doing it. The mind is making up stuff. I love how the hearts match with the outfit. The mind is doing it, and the mind is projecting. See, your mind is one great big projector, a movie projector. It's projecting onto other people your own thoughts and beliefs, and they're saying your own thoughts and beliefs to you all the time, always. It can't be any other way because you can't encounter anything other than your own consciousness. What would you be encountering other than your own consciousness? There's nothing you can encounter other than your own consciousness. It's not possible to encounter anything other than your own consciousness. So I say, thank you, Melissa, for inviting followers. So I say, put yourself at PNR and see what you do. You ever see that show? This is one of my favorite shows that I ever saw one of my favorite shows. It's some kind of survival show, and it's like 4 or 5 guys. And each of them is some survival super duper guy. Like one was a Navy SEAL, and one was some kind of Mount Everest person, and one was they're these incredible survival guys. I'm surrounded by Capricorns. Reason, so much reason. Well, they're reflecting that beautiful mind of yours. Reason. So all you have to do within yourself is tone down the reason and turn up the intuition. So you have intuition and you have intellect. You're to use both of them. Yeah, but the intuition leads, not the intellect. Don't let the intellect lead. It doesn't know where to go. The intellect is a great servant. It's a very poor master. Intuition is the master. Intellect is the servant. Keep them in proper proportion. You have both for beautiful, beautiful smartness about yourself. Ooh, like Naked and Afraid. That show is scary. Naked and Wilderness Surviving. Star Child High. Acronyms are nice, but what is PNR? PNR. Yes, from the beginning we've been talking about PNR. King said, what the heck y'all talking about? Point of no return. PNR. It's when you give your letter of resignation to the job and you have no idea how you're going to do it or what you're going to do. It's when you are in the wilderness, like on Living Naked, and you have no idea how you're going to even get through the next day. It's when you burn your boats behind you. It's when you eliminate every exit strategy, every escape hatch that you would try to opt out of, every plan B, every boat behind you is burned. Point of no return. You have no choice but to go forward. PNR is very powerful. Okay, I've been there before. That's when you really live. That's when you really live. Yes, PNR. That's me right now. Oh, Mandy, that's you, Star Child. 11. Yes, PNR. Wake up and live. This is what's the opposite. Yes, King. Yes. Here's the opposite. PNR is the opposite. Naked soul in the wilderness called to life. Soul, don't need clothes. Burn your rags. Fire Fairy, that sounds like a song. Fire Fairy is a musician. Burn the mask. Indeed. Yeah, when you ain't got no clothes on and you're on a date in the wilderness with somebody else that's naked, you really can't have many masks. It gets down to being real. Here's another PNR. So, we were talking about those 5 guys, right? PNR. That's when you have no choice but to take action. Yes! You have no choice. You have no choice. I'll tell you a perfect PNR story from the Bible. Remember King Solomon with the 2 mothers. And one said, this is my baby. And she had really stolen the baby from the other mama in the middle of the night. She had stolen, kidnapper. She was a kidnapper. She said, this is my baby. The other mother said, no, it's not. It's my baby. And Solomon said, I'll make the choice. I'll split the baby down the middle and give both of y'all half. He put them both in PNR. What did the non-mama say? The non-mama said, fine, cut the baby in half, give it, fine. Sound good to me, King. Spiteful and mean. The mama said, the mama was at PNR. Give the baby to her. See, that brings out the best in you. The PNR. But when you do one, you feel on top of the world. No other feeling is like that one. Ooh, my goodness. Favorite story from King Solomon? Favorite story from King Solomon. How do you live at the PNR every day? You can't live at PNR every single day. You got to know when to put yourself at PNR. You put yourself at PNR for really big things. Let me tell you an example of these 5 guys. So these 5 guys, they're all these really, really amazing survivalists. They can survive in cold and the woods and the mountains and wilderness and with animals and all. They can do all of that. Do you know what they do, these 5 guys? Has anybody seen this show on TV? I don't know the name of this show. Where these 5 guys are just living their life. And all of a sudden, they could be standing on stage. I remember one time the guy was standing on stage and he was giving a talk. Because one of them, they have a regular life. And one of their dudes came in the back auditorium and saw him and just nodded at him like, we getting ready to take you. And they abduct them. Has anybody ever seen this show? They abduct one of the guys. They don't never know who's going to be next. They abduct him. They literally put a hood and mask and thing around his head. And he will run. He will run for his life. They never get away because the other 4 are chasing you. And they're all like combat guys and survival guys and Navy SEALs and stuff like that. So they catch the 5th guy. They hood him up. They mask him. They tie him up. They wrestle him to the ground, tie his arms behind his back, tie his feet together, throw him on the back of the truck or the back of the bus or whatever it is. Then they start driving. He has no idea where he's going. Then what they do is they take him to some brutal, harsh place. Has anybody ever seen this show? Please tell me what the name of this show is. They take them to like one guy, they took him right into the icy place. It was like the middle cold. And they'll give them the gear that's just enough to live on. No food, no water. And then they give them a backpack. And in their backpack, they give them some random collection of items. Maybe a Swiss Army knife, maybe a peach, and wet matches. They'll play tricks on them and they'll give them like wet matches. It's so bizarre. And then they leave. And they tell him he has to go something like 20 miles to the closest. Oh yes, this is a show. He has to go like 20 or 30 miles to the closest place. He'll be out there 4 days. No food, no water, PNR. They love it. Because what the PNR brings out in you is your genius, your ingenuity, your creativity, your speed. Hurry up, speed it up. Some people are moving so freaking slow. Sorry, but it sounds like something white people do. There was one black guy in the group. King, oh, that's funny. King, there was one black guy and a dude. And I tell you what, it brings the best out of you. I tell you one thing, King, the black guy he was the Navy SEAL. He was so good because one time they dropped him in the cold. Do you know what he did? And you know what they gave him? They gave him this big, giant stuffed animal. He was like, what the heck? He had to drag the stuffed animal with him and he had his backpack and other stuff. He had to figure out how to make a fire. He had to get water. He had to get food. And do you know what he did? He figured out a way to open the stuffed animal and sleep inside the stuffed animal one night when he was freezing cold. And you know what they do? They monitor their vitals from far away. So because they got sensors on them. So they can tell like if they're absolutely getting ready to just pass out. Black man in the cold, that ain't right. Whoo, that ain't right. It's our nature to adapt and modify. We can't help it. We do. We absolutely do. So when you put yourself in the PNR, the critical part about PNR, creative passion, welcome, the point of no return is that you bring something great out of yourself. Something great comes out of yourself. Something that you did not know that you had, something that was huge, good afternoon, something that was sleeping, lying dormant. We have been waiting for you, creative passion. Thank you, Honor Love. Something that you didn't even know you had in you. It's dormant because that thing, that giant that's inside you is sleeping while you're in your comfort zone because you don't need it. You're just going around in your comfort zone. Stop making your life so comfortable. Stop making your existence so cushy. Make yourself freaking uncomfortable. Go out in the middle of nowhere and have no idea how you're going to get back. I have done that so many times, and I tell you one thing, you will be astounded at what you can do. You will be astounded at what you'll come up with. You'll be astounded. What a good exercise, leave house with no wallet, no mobile phone, and just start walking. Now, the intellect would say, that's crazy. Who would do such a thing? It doesn't make sense. I'm about to bust some things out. Come on, King. I know that's right. Who would do such a thing? However, if the idea occurs to you, my daughter has been begging me not to go back to work for maternity leave, PNR. That's right. Your children know the truth. See, if you don't have a job, people get a job. And I always wonder, why do people get a job? Because people say, oh, I ain't got no money, I got to get a job. I don't know why people don't say, I ain't got no money, I need to get a prayer. I ain't got no money, I need to get an affirmation. I ain't got no money, I need to get a business. I ain't got no money, I need to get a vision. I ain't got no money, I need to get some abundance in my consciousness. Why do people think a job is the solution? A job is never the solution. Come on. Consciousness is the solution. Consciousness. Now, if your consciousness is that has been taken over by spirit leads you to a job, that's a different story. Because some people had a job very strategically for a period of time, for a certain job, for a ministry, for a reason. But most of you, I need a garden. Most of you already, make the job work for you. That's right. Most of you are at jobs and you really need to be somewhere else. And you already know it. And Spirit has already told you. And Spirit has been waiting for you for about a decade. Please leave this job. Spirit's just sitting there. The angels are just sitting there filing their nails. Like, yeah, one day when they get up and really do something big, he or she will need our help. Right now, we're just chilling. You know, it's like Esther Heck says. The angels are reading and playing cards. Do you know what Mama Ia said? Mama Ia said your ancestors are in heaven at the foot of God playing pinochle because you ain't give them nothing big to do. They're just sitting up there playing pinochle with God. Yeah, he ain't doing nothing big. She ain't doing nothing big. Nothing big's going on around there. They sure don't need us because their life is so human and so little, they can certainly handle it on their own. Do something big that will cause you to need angelic help that will come out of nowhere and rescue your ass. Do something big. That's what you came here for. They cause you to lose the job. Don't they cause you to lose the job? The angels will be like, you know what? We've had enough of this. Stop it. Your soul is like, please rescue me from this human. This human is dragging me through the mud. Rescue me, somebody, somewhere. Do something big. Yeah, Spirit will move you. I love your hat. Oh, thank you. I was wearing this in Bali because you know how I am with the sun. I was all like the Asian women over in Bali. Hats for days. No sun. Aunts and uncles are mules. OMG. What does that mean? Edgar, aunts and uncles are mules. Tell me about that. PNR. Put yourself in PNR. Point of no return. And guess what? You are the perfect person to do it because you are a light worker. It's better to do it yourself than to have it imposed on you. Isn't that the truth? Ooh, I've seen so many people that happened to when you told us not to roll out with mules the other day. Indeed. Can't be a thoroughbred and run with mules. Indeed. You're running with thoroughbreds like all of us here. All of us here are thoroughbreds. All of us here are thoroughbreds. Give them ancestors a mission. Come on. That's some real talk about ancestors. Come on. Get them ancestors on the job. You're not doing anything big enough that requires angelic intervention. You're not doing anything big enough that even requires the ancestors to even get up and even peek down and see what you're doing. Oh, they're doing the same thing they did yesterday. Oh, they are? Okay, back to what you got, Ace. What you got? Then your life is not even big enough to even require anything from heaven. That's way too small a life for you. That is way too small a life from you. Put yourself in PNR. Burn your bridges. Get rid of your plan B. Get rid of your escape hatches. Put yourself out there. Put yourself out there. Put yourself out there. PNR, baby. Point of no return. Peace. Mwah. Love your family. God bless. See you in the morning. Woo! Scary. Do it anyway. Do it scared.